Wow, that's over the top. But gloriously over the top. Mines are superb. We like mines in this game. Okay, this is turn number 4, round number 4 of our North Africa game, and I've got to start off with correcting a corruption from way back in video number 1. I was just mucking around with the 3 videos which have been made thus far, getting more tickety-boo and cutting out a few of the old odd bits that I rambled on with, and I realised that on turn number 1 I made quite a big error. Bit of a brain-frayed moment, I'm afraid. But if we can correct a mistake, then we shall do, even though it was quite a while behind. And let me explain what happened. In C-Zone number 12, Convoy C-Zone number 12, we had an attack by an Italian bomber and an Italian fighter and an Italian submarine versus 2 British fighters and a transport ship that was moving in an anti-aircraft gun. The Italians scored 2 hits. And in all my wittering on, I managed to take out the one transport ship, removing the anti-aircraft gun, not that one, another one, and then completely forgot that I had a second hit versus one of these 2 British fighters in here. There shouldn't be 2, there should only be 1. Looking forward from there at the following videos and the attacks which took place, there were no hits scored by the British fighters, so I'm satisfied that though we had an extra dice, it didn't affect the battles which took place in there, but I cannot say that it didn't affect the thinking of the Axis or Allied powers, and I can't change that. But I can change what happens with the pieces. Now, going a little bit off tangent, this was the British purchase on turn number 2, or part of the purchase on turn number 2, was these guys in here. And I'm pretty sure that if I had needed a fighter, because one was taken out, I would have purchased 1 less artillery, 2 less infantry, and got a fighter in there. But I can't really start adjusting that purchase. That would be a little bit too much of an odd go back. See, what I can do is remove the 1 British fighter that should not be there. It's a ghost fighter. It is now lost and gone. That, I think, is the best solution I can come up with. Because mistakes are going to happen. If you know you've made one, then it really does irk. And you want to just to clear everything up as sweetly as you can. So we now move on to the German phase of it. Their advanced convoys is fairly simple. Just the 2 guys here that's from the Benghazi convoy zone going to drop into Benghazi port. So the 2 fighters that are there in Benghazi, I was thinking about putting those into Sicily to get involved in the combat move versus Malta itself, have a pop at the supplies and the anti-aircraft gun and the fighter that's in there. Germany now look powerful enough to get quite a telling strike versus that. I'm wary of putting it into Convoy C-Zone 12 and taking that in with the 2 Stukas, because that big battleship does a lot of powerful damage, and there's 2 destroyers in there that could also hit those planes. And really an economic damage done to Malta itself would probably be the better bet this time around, we think. We might be wrong with that. The other alternative was to take the planes and land them into Al Alghira, to take place in a land battle, but I think Sicily is our best choice for there. So that is the advanced convoys bit sorted out. The requisition reinforcements, they're getting themselves a submarine, which will go into C-Zone number 1, and some infantry, artillery, and some more supplies. In the combat move, the submarine goes into C-Zone number 3. Got a dodge of British mine that's in there to have a pop of that destroyer. We're going to explode that mine as a British player, because that's what it's there for, basically. And these 4 planes now can all go over onto Malta, try to pop one of the supplies with collateral damage straight away, and then take out that one British Spitfire, and possibly the anti-aircraft gun too. So let's move over to the one in C-Zone number 3 first. It's the easiest one to do, and less prone to me making mistakes. So, can we see the dice tray? Yes, we can. So the one British sea mine, it rolls in at A3. Would you Adam and Eve it? Oh my giddy aunt, they've just rolled a 1 straight away. The German submarine fleet has been absolutely dreadful in this game. Right, happens, move you over again. Back into the mortar convoy zone. We've got the British anti-aircraft gun that will roll 3 dice at 2s. And it scored a hit as well. Wow, that's a turnip for the cooks. This could be a turning point early in the game. I think take one of those on one of the fighters. I think that's the best bet. We haven't bought any kind of air in preparation for a failure there, but he wasn't expecting a failure in there. So yeah, the fighter's gone straight away. Then we can roll the German attack. The 2 Stukas, they've done the collateral damage already, or at least one lot of it. That's the maximum you can do. The 2 bombers roll in at 5s and score 1 hit, and it's definitely 1 hit. We're not going to lose that one this time round. And the fighter goes in at a 4, and that scores a hit as well. So we were going to be losing both those pieces for sure for the UK. The anti-aircraft gun doesn't fire anymore, but the Spitfire can roll back in at a 5 in defence. And it misses. Okay, so I think Germany eventually got the better of that combat in there, even though I got things completely wrong from way before. So that is the end of all the combat. We're not going to do anything down here in Tobruk. We're getting all our ducks in a line first, and then we're going to make this one big push in here, or rather 2 big pushes, because it's going to be from Germany and from Italy on subsequent turns. So I will get everything tidied up with the non-com movements and get the reinforcements on the board later on, and I'll probably see you on the British turn for maybe a Précy. There may be some sort of push from M&M's or Tobruk, but we'll find that out in a minute. Okay, we're on with the UK, and what a web we've weaved here of lies and deceit. Done the advanced convoy phase, we're on with the requisition reinforcements, couple of sea mines to go. One into sea zone number 3, so successful last time round, and one into the mortar convoy zone, help protect anything coming through here, probably that one Italian submarine that's up there in sea zone 10, just up there, and a couple of landmines that's going to go into Tobruk, which is just over here. So I just shoved you along a little bit. One's into there, and one is going down there against these forces here. Reason being, there was some extremely convoluted thinking by the British player. And what we came up with is our policy, our naval early policy, getting all that navy into the mortar convoy zone, has really hampered the supply of our regular cheap old British Tommies coming through. In this turn number 4, we've got 1 guy landed into Cairo. That's it. It's not enough. I don't think we can hang on to Tobruk. We think we're going to have to, and this will all be done off camera, give up on Tobruk, move the supplies out of Tobruk into M&M's, and perhaps leaving, I think it's just a couple of anti-tank guns in there as a last desperate line. Everything else is going to get shipped backwards. But we're giving up the 8i PCs by doing that. RPs for doing that. But we don't really want to give up on Tobruk and still have all this Axis forces come through and land, etc., and plough through. So we're going to ask the British Navy, we've put plenty of money into you. Please would you take your 1 big battle fleet that's here, all these guys, about turn, and go through into Benghazi, try to reduce this number down. We think, obviously, we've got a big advantage there. Where the fighters were used and the bombers used against mortar in the last turn, there's little there to protect that sea zone itself, apart from these 2 destroyers and 1 sea mine. Let me get myself sat down and start rolling this big attack out. It's very important, this attack, so this is why we're bringing this one to you live. So I get my dice tray into shot somewhere and make sure we can see it. I'll move that air base out of the way. Yeah, we can see all that. Beautiful. Right, so the first thing we're going to have to roll is that 1 sea mine. Sea mines defend at A3 or less and fails entirely. So, okay so far. Then the British battleship rolls in at A6 and misses. Then we have 3 at 4, and we can do it all from the same dice because there's no air units to hit. So the submarine and the 2 defending destroyers from Italy, and we scored just the 1 hit. That's disappointing for the Brits, but 1 hit nonetheless. Move him so we can notice it. Move one of them, not 2 of them. So the defending destroyers from Italy, they both miss. So one of those goes down straight away. Now, 2 units, 2 transport units can be moved off of this sea zone. I think because of these shortages of supplies that often happen in here, I think that we're going to move just the 1 lot of supplies. I'm double thinking myself now, aren't I? I think both supplies, but get those out of the action first. These 2 transport ships have moved themselves away, and then we can think of round 2 of the attack. It's going to start to hurt, but there's plenty of units in there as kind of, well, absorption, hate that word, but it is just that. The British battleship goes in at A6 and misses. That battleship's rubbish. And we've got the 3 at 4 again for the destroyers and submarines. And this time score again just 1 hit. So that 1 Italian defending destroyer now, the last guy in there, rolls in at A4 and misses as well. So the Navy haven't been particularly hot in this entire game. 2 more units can now escape. And I'm going to escape a couple of these Italian artillery pieces. They're going to be pretty important in the upcoming battle versus Tobruk, we think. So I've taken 2 chips off of there. I'll put 1 and 1 onto there as escaped units. Now, this is when the Brits get hot and the Axis get a bit scared, I think. So battleship again, because there's nothing to defend themselves with. At A3, battleship scored 1 hit. And now the destroyers and the artillery, destroyers and the submarine all going in at 4s. And 2 more hits. Okay, so everything's getting warmed up now. So we're going to be losing 6 units from there. Ouch. Obviously, I suppose we go for the cheapest first that we can get out of there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I think now, because of the interaction between the Italians going next and then the Germans going after that, I think the extra 2 would be the 2 artillery from Italy. So that's 6 units that have been lost from there. And now 2 more can escape the combat. This time, I think we're going to take 2 chips off of here. 1, 2, and make that as 2 German pieces have escaped the combat. So all that the UK have to do now is score another couple of hits, and everything in the garden will be rosy. The battleship rolls in at A6 and misses. The destroyers and the submarine at 4s, and they've all missed as well. Nice. So 2 more units they're going to escape. I think Germany, our Axis, will be well happy with that one. And now that final piece that's left in there, battleship at 6, finally scores a hit. That guy goes out of the way. I think that's pretty much a score draw there. Obviously, losing those units is unfortunate, but they're still going to get 6 units landed at the end of the turn, so that's pretty good for the Axis forces, and there's all these supplies still in place as well. And these guys are all in the water, away from the mortar convoy zone, but Britain are buying a couple of aircraft to go into the mortar convoy zone, as well as an anti-aircraft gun, and can start moving supplies into here. They've got one in Gibraltar in reserve. That'll be it for the British turn. I'm going to do all that non-com stuff off of camera, and we're going to be moving back out supplies, units, the whole works into M&Ms, perhaps even into Cairo as well. I'll see how numbers will stack up, and I'll see you on the Italian turn. Okay, we're on with the Italian turn, right at the end of turn number 4. We are running a little bit over time, so I've fast-forwarded through the advanced convoys and requisition units, and I've also done one attack here from the Italian sub in Sea Zone 10 into the mortar convoy zone, and once again the British mine did them proud, knocking out their submarine, rolling at a 1. Mines are hot in this game. I think they've taken out more units in this game than any other game, I think. So I'm very pleased with the mines. Obviously, the Italian player isn't. We'll look at this attack now into Tobruk from Benghazi. A couple of these units have come down on the convoy and then into this attack into here. And we can start off this by rolling these 2 British mines. They roll 3 dice at 3 each. And they've knocked back 2 units straight away. Ouch. It's going to be on the scout car and the artillery piece, I would imagine. I mean, it takes away the hit and run ability of the scout car, but I think they wouldn't be too upset about leaving a supply behind, but obviously it can't get in the battle anymore. So the second mine will then go off by the Brits at 3s and score 1 more hit. Wow, that's over the top. But gloriously over the top. Mines are superb. We like mines in this game. So we now get the anti-aircraft gun by the Brits that fires 2 dice at 2 against the incoming Italian planes. And misses. Fine, no problem. We can now get the attack proper by the remaining. It's not many of them, just 4 units. This could be quite expensive for Italy. We weren't expecting this. So the 2 fighters, they go in at 4s and score 1 hit. Take that on the anti-aircraft gun for sure. And then the tank and the artillery both go in at 3s for Italy, I believe it is. And they score 1 more hit. So nice. That then comes out of the battle. The Brits can reply now with the 2 anti-tank guns. They can target on the first line of combat, rolling at 3s. With reroll should they need it. They've hit 1, so okay, that tank is now destroyed. This is terrible for the Italians. Wow. So on to round 2 of the combat. They've got to get in there, Italy, really, because you don't want Germany to nip in there and grab the RPs. Italy want those RPs for themselves. So they're going to spend 1 more supply each. 1 from here and 1 from Mercer Brega and 1 from there for the Brits. And we can roll second round in this attack. These units are gone. We have 2 at 4 from the aircraft rolling in. And job done. That's now gone. And well, they've got to hope the Brits don't hit here. It rolls in at a 3 in defence. And it misses. Fine. Okay, so that comes off the board now. Italy will roll into Tobruk. This will change over to an Italian roundel. And Italy will get the RPs, which I think is better for Italy to have it, I believe, at this stage in the game. And we'll roll some reinforcement. These guys broke them before, but we can roll some reinforcements into Tobruk. Germany will probably back them up as well. And we can land these 2 fighter planes. I'm thinking probably Alagira at this stage, because that can service the Benghazi port later on. So that will be it for turn number 4. Obviously, we've got some reinforcements come on the board, a couple of submarines that the Italians have bought. But that will be it for turn number 4. I will see you in turn number 5 coming up sometime shortly. Until then, be cool.